Hello YouTube, it's Championdjk coming at you yet again with another video, and this is another Auto World complete series video. I've completed another series. This time it is the Auto World 2017 Release 3. What you're looking at right here is the Ultra Red 1976 Cadillac Coupe DeVille, which was the last piece needed to complete this collection. And we're going to open this up in just a second. First thing we're going to do is just use this to look around the package of your Series 3 cars, because this is the only car I've still got packaged. This is in the version A pack, so these were limited to 2,500 pieces per version. So version A is 2,500, version B is 2,500, and then the Ultra Reds are limited to 3% of the entire production run of the car for that series, which means they're 3% of 5,000. In other words, 150 pieces. So this is about 150 pieces. This car, whether you found it on the version A card or the version B card, it would be the exact same car. All right, so just a quick look at the back of the card. You can see quickly a list of the other cars. You can pause that and read that if you'd like to. Very cool series, this 2017 Release 3. And we're going to take a look at it. So, first of all, the version A car. So this is the version A of this Cadillac here. I'm just going to reposition our camera. Alright, so version A of this car is, what do they call this color? Dan Barton green is what they call it. I guess it's kind of green. It's kind of green bluish. I don't know. It is a weird color, to say the least. This Cadillac is a fan favorite casting, and hood does open on it, but it's hard to see in there. The hood doesn't open up very far, and it never really has on this casting. Yeah, it looks okay. Wheels and tires look a little bit sloppy on this particular one. The interior is like the same color as the body, and you got that white top there. Here's the look at the metal base. VIP1 is what the license plate says. Very, very detailed. Look at the little details back here. Little Cadillac logo, Cadillac there in script. And it looks pretty good. And then the version B car is this one right here. This one is in Instabrook blue poly. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but they do use actual vehicle option colors for their cars. Again, hood doesn't open that far. License plate is the same on this one, so version A and version B's have the same license plate. They will have some differing attributes, as this one does not have a white top right here. It's got this blue top. Other than that, the details are going to be pretty much the same. Looks alright. Again, small little issues in the way the wheels are done. Don't really appear in person, but when you get it up close on camera, you can definitely see it. This one also seems to have a little bit of a base issue where this front base part is not sitting down all the way. This particular series from Auto World seems to have suffered from that issue more than others that I've seen. I just remember this one being on the pegs and passing up some of these Cadillacs because they had some issues with the bases. Alright, so anyway, let's go ahead and get into the Ultra Red real quick before we go on to the other cars. And here is the Ultra Red. Ooh, hard landing there. So this one, of course, limited to 150 pieces. The interesting thing about the Ultra Reds in this release is they actually follow the traits of the version B car. As you notice, it has a blue top, which kind of looks interesting. It's also got the same color blue interior as the version B. It is Ultra Red in color, and then it has a white base. So they all have white bases in this release. That is not a trait in every Ultra Red for every release. Just for this release, and so a few others have a white base. This just happens to be one of those releases, and this is also one of the few releases that actually follows the traits of the version B car and not the version A car. Most of them do version A. This is definitely an interesting series, though, from Auto World. As we get into it more here, we'll talk about it more, but there's your Cadillac. This was the last piece I needed, and it is free at last, and now my whole series for this is complete. And as you can see on this one, too, the wheels are a little bit sloppy production, but these things were only $5 a piece at Walmart, so for that, you get a lot of detail. All right, so the next one we're going to take a look at is the Plymouth Barracuda. And here it is in version A, which is a black gloss color with a red interior. This casting is kind of an interesting choice that they produced this car. Out of all the Cudas, they picked this one. Nice detail under the hood there. Nice detail, of course, all around. I love when they release cars in black. They pretty much released, I think nearly every casting has been put out in black, and which is a typical option for a vehicle, right? And a popular color for a vehicle. Lots of detail there. Fishy is what you got on the plate. And just an all-around good-looking car. But the star of the show, and probably the star of this series, because it was so interesting, was this one here. This is the version B. That's how you make this casting interesting. This is the factory paint swatch car. So these are all colors that are on here that this car could have been purchased in. These factory paint swatch colors. They even released a variation of this paint swatch car as a hobby exclusive that looks a little bit different, which I don't have it out in front of me right now to show you, but pretty interesting. So red interior, and then of course all these colors as a paint swatch. So this one made waves a little bit when it came out. People were like, oh, this thing is so cool. What a cool idea for a release. And it definitely is a cool idea for a release. This actually dates back to an ad that was out for this car, which showed the car like this in the different colors, which is definitely very, very, very cool idea. And then, of course, the Ultra Red, since it follows the version B traits, looks like this. So here is your Ultra Red of this car. Definitely an interesting and unique Ultra Red. The chase car, actually, of this one could barely be called, not this one in particular, but the hobby exclusive version of this car, which I do not have, could barely be called an Ultra Red because basically it's the exact same but has a white base. This one does have a white base, but it's all different shades of Ultra Red. It's almost like they took this and then dyed it like a red. Just kind of an interesting thing. So just a unique Ultra Red, and a very cool one indeed. Again, hood's open on these. And by the way, the ways that these are painted, they're almost like they're wrapped. This one's got a little scratch across the top. And just an interesting way to do it. So there is your Ultra Red of the 1965 Plymouth Barracuda. All right, really cool one. Probably the star of the series. Next, we're going to take a look at one of my favorites, of course. This is the 1975 Pontiac Firebird. This is version A in white gloss. They make a 75 Firebird and a 76. The real difference is just in the way the bumper is on the front and back end. 455 HO is what the plate says on this one. Love this casting from Auto World. One of my favorites. One of the castings that kind of got me into Auto World to begin with. And this hood's going to struggle to open, and that's fine. We don't really need to open it. Maybe this version B will come out easier. Here is your version B release. Oh, this one also has a maroon interior, by the way. This one has a white interior with a black dashboard. And the color of this one is Buccaneer Red. It's got an orange, yellow and orange bird on the hood. Again, really nice release of this car. See if I can get this hood open. It's not going to budge. So it would if I tried hard enough, but we don't need to sit here and struggle with it. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at the Ultra Red. So the Ultra Red, if you can predict what it's going to look like by looking at these two, you see there's a difference here in the color of the bird and, of course, the interior as well. And this is going to have the version B traits. So it's got an orange and yellow bird. It's got the white interior. This also has the standard Ultra Red traits for this release, which is a white base and an Ultra Red paint color. Very cool. And maybe the hood will open easy on this one. Oh, yeah, there we go. We got a winner. Boom. So there's what your under the hood looks like. It's going to look the same on all of them, of course, except for the body color that's painted right here. And just a very cool release of this Trans Am. Very nice. All right. And then next up, we've got the, let's do this one. Let's see here. Here's version A, which I just showed this in Free the Piece Friday, my last Free the Piece Friday video. Can't speak. So this is charcoal poly that this one is in. It's a very nice looking casting. Motor opens, all that cool stuff. Very neat. Challenge me, it says on the plate. Very cool. And then version B is this car right here. And this one is Blue Streak, is what it is called. Again, plate's the same. Challenge me. It's a nice release of this car. This casting definitely grew on me. I wasn't a huge fan of it when it first came out. I like it a lot now. And then here, of course, is the Ultra Red. So Ultra Red wise, there's really not going to be much difference because the A and the B car really don't have any differentiating traits. They have the same color interior, basically all of the same stuff, all the same Tampo action writing, all of that good stuff. So this one's really identical to either the A or the B release. And of course, it has the white base. And of course, it's got the Ultra Red color. But other than that, there's nothing different about it. All right, next up, another fan favorite. This is the Plymouth Road Runner. This is the what year is this Plymouth Road? 1974. This one's in Lucerne blue with a white stripe. Very nice looking car. Very well detailed. Let's see if we can get the hood open on this one. There we go. Take a peek in there. Really cool casting. Really awesome. It's got a blue interior to match the body color. And it looks very, very nice. And then next up, we got the version B in gloss black. Looks pretty cool. White interior, black white top. Don't worry about the hood because we already looked in it. The motor's going to look the same, by the way, between version A and version B. I've never noticed any other difference. This one actually has a plate difference, which I just realized, between the A and the B release. And now you got me looking at all the rest of these real quick to see if there's a plate difference. Swatches. Oh, yeah. This one has a plate difference, too. Fishy. Swatches. That's interesting. So not all of them have plate differences. The Trans Am does not. The Cadillac does not. The Barracuda does. The Challenger does not, and now this Road Runner does. So what are we going to see in the Ultra Red? Well, we're going to see, of course, the plate number from the version B car. It's also got a white top that happens to be just a little bit tinted pink from the Ultra Red paint, it looks like, almost. And then, of course, the white interior that is also seen on the version B. This one also has a base issue. As you can see in here, there's a big gap. You can almost see right through it. So the ride height's a little weird, and it leans kind of to one side. So that is definitely an issue with this piece, unfortunately. Still stoked to have it in my collection. Still stoked to have a complete collection. Haven't explored whether or not this is going to be fixable. I have fixed an Ultra Red in the past. Actually, I've made a video on fixing an Ultra Red that had the same issue, because I was able to detect some flashing in there. This one, I don't think I've explored it yet. But I may have to try to fix this one to see if I can get that base to sit down properly. Likely what it is a piece of flashing that's left on the actual body casting or the base that is preventing them from going all the way together. And that's what causes that. You'll see that come up, unfortunately, quite a bit. Not only with Auto World, but with some other diecast brands that have metal on metal. So you'll see that issue pop up. And it just kind of stinks that it had to be the chase of this one that had the issue, but what can you do? This car was also released as a hobby exclusive sometime around the same time as this release came out, in a brown and then like in a butterscotch color. I also have those, and I also have the chase of that one as well. Those seem to not have any of the issues that we're seeing on this one. All right, so that's that one. And then lastly is this. So we've got version A of this Mustang. This Mustang is the 2017 Ford Mustang GT. This is when they first started using a better looking headlight tampo that used to just be a silver streak right there. New one. So it looks really good. This looks almost like an Ultra Red in color, right? And with the color, actually, it had a name too. What was the color for this one? Ruby Red. Okay, Ruby Red. Then you got this one in black with a silver stripe. Silver wheels, gray interior, black dash. This one also had a black dash, gray interior. Let's see, this one say new one as well. Plate's the same as well on this one. So this is the trickiest Ultra Red I think that Auto World has ever put out. Aside from the original first Deluxe series that had the Viper, or it was Deluxe Series 2 that had the Viper in it, that made one that was basically Ultra Red and then made one that had a white stripe on the top. So look at this. Here is your Ultra Red next to the version A car. Now, if you look closely, they are painted in different paints. But it is very, very difficult to tell. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that at all, but they basically look the same. The only differentiation is that this one's got a white base. So they did this on purpose. You know they did. They did it on purpose to fool people. As far as it following the version A or version B traits of the car, it really doesn't make a difference because both of these have exactly the same thing going on. They got the silver stripe. They've got the same plate number. There's no difference, detectable difference as far as my detection skills go. No difference between these two as far as the traits go, but aside from the color of the car. And then there's really no difference between these two aside from the base, is almost what it looks like. But it is a different color. If you look at it in person, it's definitely, this is a darker red than this one, and it's not just because it's a darker red because they sprayed more of it on. It's literally not the same color. So pretty interesting. And then actually I got one more thing to show you. Hang on. All right, now I cannot believe I almost forgot about this. But I also have that. So here is an Ultra Raw from this release. It's the Ultra Raw of the Firebird, and it is super cool. I got this from Jeremy Bolter. It is the first Ultra Raw that I've ever had in my collection. It's got a raw metal base. It's got a raw metal body. It's got the traits from the B-release car, being that it has the orange Firebird. Orange Firebird. And it's got the white interior from the version B car. So just thought I would show you that. I almost forgot I had that. So one Ultra Raw, and it is a good one. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode. Let me know which casting was your favorite. For me, the Trans Am really takes it. I just love the Trans Am casting. I'm a huge fan of it. It's hard to pick a second favorite release. This thing was really cool. It was a really cool idea when it came out. It's not my favorite casting. The Big Long Caddy, these are pretty cool too. It's hard not to like those. Just huge castings. The Road Runner is really sweet. All in all, this is a really good release. It was hard to leave any of these behind in the store. If you found them in the store, or if I found them in the store, it was really tough, even if they didn't pull an Ultra Red, not to get a bunch of different, not to hoard these anyway. So, really cool. And then this release is actually really cool. And they're all pretty cool. I don't know. I'd have to say my favorite Ultra Red, though, out of the series is probably this one. Of course, my favorite car overall is the Raw. But just super cool. All right, you guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Check out the playlist for Auto World. It's got a bunch of these videos on it explaining the entire series of Auto World. Definitely check those out. And thank you very much, and have a good day.